Their screens moved faster than I could keep up with. I sat in a crowded seminar room, surrounded by younger agents typing furiously on sleek laptops, fingers flying across keyboards like they'd been born knowing the shortcuts. The click, click, click of keys filled the air, sharp and relentless. Meanwhile, I sat there with my notebook open, pen in hand, trying to keep pace with ink, while their words flashed instantly onto glowing screens. My chest tightened with each click. Every keystroke sounded like a countdown reminding me, "You're falling behind." I shifted in my seat, glancing around. Their energy buzzed with confidence, the kind that comes when you believe the future belongs to you. My own notes looked slower, heavier, like relics. And the thought hit me hard. Maybe my time's already passed. The sound of their typing became more than noise. It became a symbol, proof that the industry was racing ahead, and I was dragging my feet. I sat there, pen hovering above the page, feeling smaller with each passing moment. Not because I had nothing to offer, but because I believed no one would value it anymore. Their screens moved faster than I could keep up with. Maybe you felt that too, like the world sped up and left you standing still. Fear of being outdated doesn't just hit in classrooms or seminars. It shows up everywhere. In business, I felt it every time new technology emerged. Peers half my age seemed to master it overnight, while I fumbled through tutorials, embarrassed to admit I didn't know. At home, it crept in when my kids used tablets with ease. Watching my 5-year-old swipe and tap with confidence made me feel like the roles had reversed, like I was the student and they were the teacher. And culturally, it carried a sting. In a world that worships youth, experience often gets mistaken for irrelevance. I felt invisible at times, as if years of lessons counted less than shiny new tools. Do you know that feeling? When someone younger explains something with the tone of an expert and you nod along, hiding the sting. When you hesitate to share your knowledge because you fear it sounds old-fashioned. When you start to question whether all the years you've poured into this path even matter anymore. That's the strain of fearing obsolescence. It doesn't just question your skills, it questions your worth. I wish someone had told me, experience doesn't expire, it deepens. Instead, I told myself, the world is moving on without me. And that belief gnawed at every ounce of confidence I had built. I thought my years made me obsolete. The clicking laptops weren't just sound anymore. They were echoes of my fear that the value I carried was already out of date. The breaking point came midway through that seminar. The presenter asked for audience input, and hands shot up around me. Younger voices filled the room with confidence, ideas sharp and quick. My throat tightened. My hands stayed down. I muttered under my breath, maybe my time's already passed. That was my crisis cue. My body bore the weight of the thought. Shoulders slumped, jaw clenched, my chest heavy, breath shallow, like the air itself didn't want to carry me forward. The pen in my hand felt useless, my notes like relics. But in that silence, I remembered, wisdom doesn't vanish just because technology changes. So I turned to the reset method. One is affirmation. I whispered quietly, my wisdom adds value. over and over, until the words softened the fear. Each repetition steadied me, like bricks rebuilding a foundation. Reset. Method 2 is body scan. Shoulders release. I rolled my shoulders back, feeling the stiffness loosen. The tension of trying to prove myself melted as I let the body remember. Presence is enough. Reset. Method 3 is visualization. I pictured the seminar table not as a battlefield of ideas, but as shared ground. Each person contributing, each voice adding. My years weren't outdated, they were roots. And roots anchor the soil others stand on. When the presenter asked again for input, I forced myself to raise my hand. My voice trembled at first, but then steadied as I shared one insight from years of negotiation experience. And the room paused. Heads turned. People listened. And in that moment, I noticed the shift. Wisdom didn't compete with speed. It deepened it. I whispered to myself, "Notice what changed for you, even if just a little." After that moment, I saw the truth clearer than ever. Experience doesn't fade, it evolves into wisdom. Experience isn't outdated, it evolves into wisdom. And I let the words ground me. Wisdom anchors him where novelty fades. That line landed like a gift. The clicking laptops that once mocked me now sounded like background noise. I picked up my pen again, not to compete with their speed, but to write down my own truths, lessons they hadn't lived yet. That was my symbolic moment, sharing one line of wisdom that silenced the room, not because it was flashy, but because it was real. And I said aloud, "But wisdom doesn't age, it deepens." Let's practice this together. Think of one place where you felt outdated, maybe at work, at home, or in a conversation. Pause, take a breath, and whisper, "My wisdom adds value." Now, roll your shoulders back, loosen the weight of comparison, feel the ground under you. Let your body remember, you carry years no one else can. In business, share one story of how you solved a challenge before. Let your history become guidance. At home, pass down a lesson to your kids, not through lectures, but through lived example. In culture, remember that novelty fades, but roots keep the tree alive. You don't need to keep pace with every new click. You only need to stand steady in the wisdom that no shortcut can replace. Even one insight, one story, one lesson, that's value. The seminar ended, and the laptops closed. But the moment stayed with me. I no longer feared the speed around me. I trusted the depth within me. My experience is a strength, not a flaw. That truth steadies me now. And I remind myself once more, experience isn't outdated, it evolves into wisdom. So here's my reflection for you. Where in your life have you mistaken wisdom for weakness? And what lesson could you share today that no one else can? For me, it was one line in a seminar. For you, it might be something different, but the power is the same. Wisdom anchors us all. And before I close, I want to share gratitude. Tonight, I'm grateful for every scar, every stumble, every year that taught me more than a shortcut ever could.